Reading English stories is hands down the best way to pick up English. As you go through each chapter, I'll break down some new words for you. Start with Chapter 0, linked in the description. Volume 1, Chapter 3b, Magic Textbook. Maybe it's a special talent I have, but others can't use it at all. Maybe I can think of it this way. A magician typically starts out as a beginner and ends up as a veteran, and everyone uses the incantation method to cast. After thousands of times, their bodies would be used to incantation. And when it came to voiceless incantations, they didn't know what to do. Therefore, as it's not disseminated, not recorded in the guidebook, that explains it, then that means I'm not an ordinary person. Have you heard of the term disseminate before? Disseminate is a fancy word for spreading or sharing something, like information or knowledge, with a bunch of people. It's like when you pass around gossip or share news with your friends. For example, a teacher might disseminate study tips to the class before a big test to help everyone do better. It's amazing, right? It's like I'm using a tip sheet. They used a crime catalyst without singing an oratorio. But all I did was use this catalyst like normal and open the gate. That kind of feeling? Woohoo, I'm getting excited. No. Calm down. Cool down. Past me was deceived by this feeling because I'm better at using the computer than the average person and got that feeling that I was some kind of chosen one. I became greedy and eventually ended up a failure. I have to be humble. The most important thing is to not treat myself like someone superior to others. I'm a novice. A novice with beginner's luck and managed to hit the bowling pins with a strike. Have you heard of the term novice before? Novice is a way of saying someone is a beginner or new to something. It's like being a rookie or a fresh face in a particular activity or field. For instance, if you just started learning how to play the guitar, you'd be a novice guitarist. You're just beginning to explore and understand the basics of playing music. I just have beginner's luck. I don't think I'm a talented person with talent. I should be working hard on this. Good. I needed to first rely on the chant to use a spell. Then, based on the feeling I experienced when casting, I could practice the voiceless incantation repeatedly. I would just use that format to learn. Then let's do it again. But when I stretch out my right hand, I feel strangely sluggish, as if there's something heavy on my shoulders. Feeling of fatigue. Is it because I'm concentrating too hard? No, I was at least considered a pro at internet gaming, self-proclaimed. I was a man who could continue hunting for 6 full days without sleeping if I needed to. My concentration wouldn't vanish from just 2 attempts. That is to say, my MP depleted. Have you heard of the term deplete before? Deplete means to use up or reduce something until there's not much left. It's like when you finish a whole bag of chips and there are none left for anyone else. For example, if you keep using your phone all day without charging it, you will deplete the battery, and eventually it will run out of power. Goodness, if they say the mana amount is decided at birth, my mana's only enough to fire 2 water bullets? That's just too little, right? Or is it because I'm a beginner, my efficiency when using mana properly is really low? No. How can that be? To be safe, I tried firing off the spell one more time, but in the end I fainted. Oh really, Rudius, if you're sleepy just go to the toilet and then sleep on the bed. When I woke up, I was treated as if I'd fallen asleep when reading the book and wet the floor. Damn, I got scolded for wetting the floor even when I'm so old. Damn it. I'm only 2, right? Wetting the bed is still forgivable. Seriously, isn't my mana's too little? This made me feel really powerless. Well, even if it's 2 water bullets, the next thing is how to use it. In any case, I should practice to the point where I can fire it right away. The next day, I was fine even after firing 4 water bullets. I only felt tired after the 5th shot. Based on my experience yesterday, I know I'll faint if I fired another shot, and I decide to stop. So I began to think, my current maximum 6 shots. It's 2 times more than yesterday. I looked at the barrel's worth of 5 water bullets and wonder the reason why the number of shots increased by 2 times from yesterday till today. Was it because I was already tired yesterday, or was it because I consumed more MP yesterday? I'm casting them all through voiceless incantation, but there shouldn't be any difference between the two methods. I don't get it. Maybe the number will continue to increase tomorrow. It's the next day. The number of water bullets I could create had increased 11 times. It feels like I can increase the number of shots I can fire with the number of shots actually fired. If my theory's true, by tomorrow I should be able to use the spell 21 times. Another day passed. To confirm my guess, I casted the spell 5 times and stopped. Another day passed, and my limit became 26 times. My limit really is the same as the number of times I had cast the spell. You actually bluffed me. What do you mean a person's total mana is decided at birth? You're determining talent, an intangible thing you can't even see with your own eyes. A child's potential isn't what an adult can determine. Well, this also means that I can't just blindly trust something from a book. This book's probably saying something like, humans' happiness has a limit, that sort of thing. Or was it referring to the results of training? Did it mean that after rigorous training, there's a mana cap? No, it's still too early to draw a conclusion. This is still just a hypothesis. Have you heard of the term hypothesis before? Hypothesis is basically a smart guess or an idea you have that you want to test out. It's like when you think something will happen based on what you know, but you're not completely sure until you check. For instance, if you predict that plants will grow taller with more sunlight, that's your hypothesis. Then you would set up an experiment to see if your guess is correct by testing how plants grow with different amounts of sunlight. Something like, it's based on how much you can grow or something. When casting magic during infancy, the maximum value will increase exponentially or something like that. I can't ignore the possibility that maybe it's due to my special body. No, it's not good to treat myself as special. In my original world, it's said that the athletic abilities does increase exponentially during puberty. But the problem was that after puberty, no matter how hard one try, there's not much progress. Even in this world, for something like magic, a human's body structure shouldn't be any different. It's basically the same. Then, there's only one thing to do. Train as hard as possible before puberty ends. From the next day onwards, I depleted my mana to the fullest every day. At the same time, the number of spells I could use increased. As long as I can remember the feeling, it's easy to use voiceless incantation. Anyway, my short-term target's to completely master elementary magic. Elementary magic is just as the term implies. I have the lowest rank amongst all attack magic. Water and flame bullets are considered the basics even amongst the elementary spells. There are 7 difficulty ranks to magic. Elementary, intermediate, advanced, saint, king, emperor, god. I read that an ordinary, educated magician can improve his specialized magic up to the advanced rank, while the typical uneducated is able to cast elementary to intermediate ranked spells. If we're going by the rank beyond advanced, based on this system, those called a fire saint or water saint can be considered to be one of a kind. The saint rank. I'm yearning that a little. But that magic guidebook only has fire, water, wind, and earth systems, up to the advanced rank. Where can I learn spells ranked saint and above? No, it's better not to think too far ahead. It's the same too for RPG Maker. If one started off by creating the strongest monster, there's a high chance of being dejected. One should start from the slime. Though I didn't even finish the slime, even though I started from. Now the book contained the following elementary water spells. Water bullet, a water bullet that can be shot. Water ball, water shield, water that rises from the ground to form a wall. Water shield. Water arrow, a 20-centimeter dart that's fired. Water arrow. Ice strike, creates a column of ice to smite an enemy. Ice smash. Ice weapon, forms a sword of ice. Ice blade. I tried out everything. Even though each spell was elementary, the amount of mana it took to cast them varied. Using the water bullet as my standard, a single cast expends 2 to 20 water bullets worth of mana based on the spell. Basically, I practiced only water magic. It would have been a problem if I'd tried the fire magic and caused a fire disaster. Speaking of fire, it seems the amount of mana used is correlated to the temperature. The higher the rank, the colder the ice got. While the book said certain spells should fly out of my hand, whether it water bullet or water arrow, I could never get them to work properly. But I'm unable to shoot anything, whether it's the water bullet or the water arrow, even though the book tells me so. Why is that so? Where have I gone wrong? I don't get it. The book had said something about a spell's size and speed. Can it be that after creating the bullet, I still need to control it using magic? Let's try it out then. Oh, the water bullet became bigger. Oh, plop. Oh, but it still fell onto the floor. After that, I tried various means to change the bullet's size. I created 2 different bullets at the same time. I changed the size of the bullets at the same time. But even though it's a new discovery, none of the bullets look like flying forward. Fire and wind aren't affected by gravity and can float in the air. In the end, though, they'll still disappear after a certain amount of time. I tried using wind to shoot a floating fireball. It felt wrong somewhere. 2 months later. At the end of all the mistakes, I finally succeeded in making a water bullet fly. By now, I've gotten a basic understanding of the concept behind incantation. There are certain steps to incantations: creation, setting of size, setting of firing speed, activation. Within this, the magic spell is done once the user determines the size and speed, which means after the chant, 1, the spell automatically takes shape. 2, after this, within a fixed time frame, increase the mana input to adjust the size. 3, after the size adjustment during a fixed time frame with extra mana input, was the adjustment of the speed setting. 4, once the preparation period's over, the magic spell leaves the caster's hand and automatically flies towards its target. This is the sequence of the entire thing. This is most probably correct, I think. The trick is that after chanting, I need to add more mana twice. If there's no adjustment to the size, the firing speed adjustment won't occur. It's no wonder that when I tried to fire the bullet, the only thing that happened was the size changing, nothing else. And to add on, when I'm doing voiceless incantation, I'll have to process all of these by myself. Even though it's a hassle, it can reduce the time needed to change the size and firing speed. It's possible to be several times faster than an incantation. Also, modifications can be done during the creation phase of a voiceless incantation. For example, what the book didn't record was how to freeze a water bullet to create an ice bullet. If I practice this, I might be able to use the Kaiser Phoenix attack. My face is full of pride. With different ideas, I can create a variety of effects. This is becoming interesting. But the basics are definitely important. I'll have to wait until my overall mana increases before experimenting. Increase my mana capacity. Use voiceless incantation until it's as easy as breathing. These are my 2 assignments. It's easy to have setbacks if I suddenly have a large goal. It's best to start off with something small. All right, time to work hard. And so I kept practicing elementary magic until I nearly fainted. After each chapter, I'll run through the previous vocab again for you. If you forget any, just check the description for the meanings. Disseminate. Novice. Deplete. Hypothesis. Reincarnate. Mana. Incantation. Magic array. Calamitous. Concubi.
Protégé.
Amniotic. If you dive into English stories and pick up some words daily, you're definitely making progress. Nice work. Keep it going.